Hi, Claudine Reid here. I am super glad that you could join me. I want to just take a few moments to just kind of share some key insights about habits. That's right, Habits, habits. What habits are you building? What habits are you working on right now in order to take you on an upward trajectory? What uphill habits are you building to help yourself? I normally like to work around 4 key areas of life: fitness, faith, family, and finance. They're in no real particular order. It's just that I believe they carry equal weight in your life. I believe that if you want to do anything of great significance, those 4 key areas, fitness, faith, family, and finance, require balance. They require some level of working intentionally in order to take you to the pathway that you want to get to. When I'm talking about fitness, for example, I'm not only talking about physical fitness, but I love to include in there your mental fitness, your spiritual and emotional fitness, your physical fitness. When I'm talking about faith, I'm talking about your value system, your belief system, your relationship with God, your relationship with your Creator. When I'm talking about finance, I'm talking about your own financial structures, your own financial models. Do you have more than one source of income? Are you nurturing those sources of income? Are you following the 70-10-10-10 principle that George Carson talks about in The Richest Man in Babylon? In his book, The Richest Man in Babylon, he subscribes to a theory that we should really be living on 70% of our income, tithing 10% or giving 10% to charity, saving another 10%, and then investing the other 10%. I go a little bit more into detail about the 70-10-10-10 principle when we speak about building our finances, and we'll save that for another day. But those are questions you could ask yourself. And let me just throw this part in here. I know for some it may not be possible to actually live on 70% of your income, but it's not so much about the actual percentages. It's about the process of getting there. So let's not get hung up on, I can't live on 70%. What percentage can you live on? What percentage can you save or save for investments? Or what percentage can you donate? Claudine, how can I donate when I can just about live on what I have myself? It's the principle that counts. And we're going to pick this up in another video where we talk a little bit more about finances and as it relates to our life. Family. What are your family goals? What are your family habits? Is it about creating peace, unity, harmony, and love in your home? How can we often do that? Or how can we find ourselves doing that when sometimes things within our homes don't always go the way that we like? Perhaps there's a lot of conflict and we need to find ways of managing the tensions within the home. But these are all habits and conversations that would be really helpful, especially now, especially in this current time. We are all experiencing a global pandemic and life is changing before our very eyes. Nothing is going to go back to normal, if there ever was such a thing. And so the questions that I'm really wanting you to think about now is think about what small things can you do now that will have a massive impact on your life? What small shifts towards your habits can you implement now that's going to have a massive impact? Here's what I learned through life and through the course of running my business, that any time I've wanted to see positive change, I've had to take my patience and my confidence up another level. I've had to think differently. I've had to employ different thinking strategies to help me create new habits. Habits are a little bit like atoms. I'm not proclaiming to be a scientist in any way, shape, or form, but habits are a little bit like atoms. They are fundamental tiny units or small components that contribute to the overall achievement of the thing or the goal that you are progressing towards. Habits contribute to a change in your behavior. Habits, when repeated over a period of time, lead to bigger results. So think about, what are those small things that you could do that will lead to a much bigger result? Here's what I've also learned. When you build new habits, set yourself hard to miss cues. It kind of works a little bit like this, and I want to share with you an analogy that I use with my skipping rope, right? I wanted to increase my fitness levels, so I had to put hard to miss cues in the plan. I moved my skipping rope from under my bedside table where it was stored nicely, and I put it in my space where I generally spend my morning, where I create my morning routine. So my morning routine consists of prayer, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and journaling. I normally get up before everybody else in my household and try and fit that in. But because I wanted to enhance my skipping, because I wanted to change the way how I'm doing my exercise routine, and I wanted to build back my stamina, I also put my skipping rope in that same space. So those hard to miss cues were right in front of my very eyes, so I had no reason not to do it, like setting myself up right. But that's sometimes what you've got to do. Here's what I also did. I was very, very intentional. I created an implementation plan. When you create an implementation plan, you are being even more intentional. So my implementation plan looked a little bit like this. I have a habit tracker. I'm a little bit geeky like that. I have a habit tracker, and there are key habits that I want to ensure that I carry out, or I want to ensure that I do on a daily or a weekly basis. So on my implementation plan, I put that I needed to skip. I started off, for those of you who are aware, I started off doing 100 skips, and then I progressed to 200 and then to 300, and by the time I got to 300 I stopped counting and shifted to times, started skipping for 5 minutes and increased by 1 minute every day until I get to the goal that I desire. But that was part of my implementation plan, and then it was easier for me to measure and monitor what success looks like. I also had to build in systems and structures to make it easy to adopt and satisfying. So the easy to adopt was all about the hard to miss cues. The satisfying was every time I looked back, I could see progress, right? I could skip for a little bit longer. I wasn't getting so tired earlier on in the exercise routine. But one of the reasons why this is important, and it's a principle that you can create for life, for your business, for your fitness, your faith, your family, or your finance. Listen to the principle. It's about putting things in your space. It's about putting things in your way so that you can create uphill habits that will take you on an upward trajectory. I believe that as we navigate our times, as we navigate our way through one of the most challenging times of our lifetime. We have never experienced a global pandemic before in our lifetime. I think that one of the ways how we'll be able to come out bigger, better, stronger, wiser is by creating new habits. Create a framework that keeps you on track, and that's what the habit tracker will do. When you explore the concept of creating new habits, here's what I did, and this is really, really quite important for me, and I hope you find it, workable for you. I created a system where I would stack my habits. So creating another habit, almost like how you would stack bricks, I created my habits in a stacking mechanism, so that I said earlier on that in my part of my morning routine, I like to spend time in prayer, reading my affirmations and exercising and so on. I stacked my skipping routine on top of those habits. So I couldn't actually complete the whole routine until I had incorporated the skipping element. That's what habit stacking does. So I want you to take some time and think practically how you can stack your habits. What can you do to help develop, create new habits? In order to do that, you will need new thinking strategies. You're going to need to think strategically. You're going to need to think focused. You're going to need to think expansively. You're going to need to think bottom line thinking. You're going to need to explore. And in my other YouTube videos, I do talk a bit more about the potential of developing your thinking strategies. But I want to leave a quote that I found from Stephen Covey. He said that habits are the intersection of knowledge, what you do. It's about the intersection of your skill, how you do it, and the intersection of your desire, wanting to do it, when you're able to pull those three things together, that's how you develop your habits. What you know, what you're able to do, and what you want to do, and pulling all those things together. Colin Powell, one of the great generals of our time, he also said that if you're going to achieve excellence, in big things, you've got to develop habits daily. It's the little things that you do. Excellence is not an exception, it's a prevailing attitude. Now think about it. Look at the military might. Look at the power of Colin Powell, a general in our time, and look at the influence that he had, and he's encouraging us to set habits intentionally. Malcolm Gladwell, one of my really favorite authors, he speaks about practice. He says it isn't the thing that you do once that you become good at. It's the thing that you do all of the time that makes you good. It's the thing that you consistently repeat. So you got to think about, if I'm repeating good habits, then what's the end result going to be? If I'm repeating poor habits, what's the end result going to be? It's really quite straightforward. My absolute favorite author of all times, he says this: you will never change your life until you change something that you do on a daily basis. The secret to your success is found in your daily routine. So I encourage you, rehearse your routine. Take some time to look at your routine and think about, what do I need to do differently in order to help myself? You see, I've learned this: habits are more dependable. Habits will sustain you. When inspiration is gone, when motivation is gone, the thing that you practice to do on a daily basis is the thing that will sustain you. I want you to take this opportunity to build uphill habits right now. I want you to take this opportunity to do a review of your fitness, your faith, your family, and your finance, and think about those habits that are taking you in a direction of where you want to go. If they're not taking you in the direction where you want to go, you can do something about it. Do it right now. I want you to come out of COVID. I want you to come out of this global pandemic bigger, better, faster, wiser, stronger, more agile than ever before. I look forward to hearing about your success stories. Connect with me on social media. Claudine Reed, thank you so much.